2 gloves.
Teddy, 2.
2 gloves.
Yeah.
Shit, he taller than you, though. What up, dog?
Teddy big as hell.
Yeah, Teddy tall, man.
Man, first time I met him, I was like, God damn, this.
I forgot he was that tall.
He big.
Because he don't never say nothing. Like, he just
one of
always
them
so damn
athletes
quiet.
That be cutting themselves short, man.
You know
You
what I
gotta
mean?
snap. Ted, if you would have snapped on somebody, man, we'd all went crazy in the hood. Yeah,
Man, shit.
Teddy.
I read something about Teddy. They say he was the teacher's pet, though, when he played football. Say Teddy did everything right.
I don't know about that one, man.
Teddy, they say you did everything right.
I do everything right. Because I'm setting a good example for my peers, but I ain't never been a teacher's pet.
Them boys from the West, we was talking about Dre just recently on the last show. Them boys from the West, a whole different breed.
Man,
What?
I love it.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
But welcome to the show. We would just really appreciate you. New state champion head coach,
I
Teddy
appreciate
Bridgewater.
that, man.
This is Channing Crowder, Ryan Clark, it's Fred Taylor. This is The Pivot. This show is brought to you by NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Man, Teddy, there's so much that we could talk about in your life, but I want to get to recently, man. You came back home, back to your high school, man, and brought them a state championship. And the energy in which you did it. I got to see the dances afterwards, the way the people surrounded you, how they celebrated you. What was it like to come back and be able to give your experiences, your wisdom, and your time to young men who truly look up to you?
Honestly, it was refreshing. I knew that a lot of those kids, man, watched me growing up. They saw me on the television. They would see me come back to the games. And they saw so much hope when they saw me. And for me, it was one of those things where it's like, man, let me just go back and feed my soul, and complete the mission that God put me here to do. And football, it gave me a platform. And it gave me a platform to put where I'm from on the map. But to be able to go back and do what I did this year, it was icing on the cake for me. It was icing on the cake for the community because it's something that I talked about 2 years ago when a lot of these kids are freshmen. And for it to come full circle, it was just refreshing.
TB, why put that pressure on yourself, man? I always talk about I don't like to count people's pockets, but I really do. I go look up career earnings. Bro, you done touched well into the 8 figures, and now you back arguing at 14-year-olds. You talking to moms about why my son ain't getting playing time. Why go back and put all that pressure on yourself, bro? You can go get you a house on the island and chill.
It's one thing, man, to let the kids see you on TV, but to see you in the flesh, I just feel like that's an extra ounce of motivation for these kids. And in Liberty City, man, that hope, that extra motivation is needed. And I call myself the neighborhood hope dealer. And oftentimes you think of Liberty City, dope is being sold, and I'm dealing hope. That's what I tell people. I'm dealing hope, to the community and to the kids. And I put that pressure on myself because it's just something about it, man, that to see the smiles on those kids' faces when you win a championship like we did this past Saturday, to see the community come together, the violence cease, everyone's just good vibes, good energy, man. That's what it's all about.
Well, a bad rep usually follows Liberty City, but you said 71st is back. After the win, how emotional was it for you to say, look, this is what we set out to accomplish. The kids believed in me, the community believed in me, and I delivered, or we delivered. So I want to know how emotional was that as soon as the clock struck 0?
Man, it was very emotional just because so much transpired this year that a lot of people don't know about. And the kids, man, they were just resilient all year. My coaches were resilient. The community, they stayed behind us the entire time. And we had our ups and downs throughout the year. But we figured it out at the right point, at the right time. And it was just, man, one of those moments where it was just like, man, we did it. All adversity, we overcame it, and we can say we're champions.
Teddy, I made the joke earlier when we sat down that you never said a lot. But you have been very vocal about supporting the kids you coach. Recently, there was a Facebook post, and you were talking about these kids signing and being able to create their content, being able to push these things out as, to me, what would be other signs of hope for the young men that will come and play after the footsteps they've laid. Why is it so important for you to not only be there in body and in presence to coach and give that hope, but to also be a voice for the young men that you represent?
Honestly, it's a voice for the young men, but also for the coaches. It's a voice for the coaches before me and the coaches who coach now. For one, we're underpaid. I think you get about $5,500 to coach high school football in South Florida. You know, that's it. And then you have all these rules and stipulations in place where, you know, I'm one of those players and one of those former players, coaches who believe in creating moments, creating memories, because those memories last a lifetime. And when kids can't document certain things, or, you know, there's certain rules that everyone isn't aware of, I feel like I need to step in and be a voice, you know, for the coaches, for the players, because there's some people who probably can't say anything because, you know, this is their livelihood. For me, you know, I was blessed to play football and make some good money, so now I could just speak out. And, you know, there's so many people who call me, hey, man, I feel the exact way you feel about this situation, but I can't say it. So I'm just going to continue to use my platform, man, to be a voice for those coaches who wanted to be heard, and be a voice for those coaches from the past, and be a voice for the players.
Do you like it, though? Because I done seen more out of you on social media coaching than all the time you played, bro. Like the video, you want to see a dead body, and y'all walk up like, bro, all that stuff. Yeah. I'm laughing like, bro, Teddy don't do shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, do you enjoy that? Are you doing it, like you saying, for the purpose of helping people? But do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy people getting to know you? Because, you know what I'm saying, we all met before. We done chopped it up before a bunch of times, but like, I don't think anybody really knows how you are, who you are.
Yeah, and I enjoy 100% of it, even the headaches that come with it. And it's just, I've always tried to control the narrative of what I allow people to know about me. You know, I always told people my Instagram is for fans to see football pictures, see what I'm doing in the community. And then I make a personal page for my family, my intermediate circle who know me on a daily basis. So I always control what I put out into the universe. And this year with coaching, though, man, I've been in the camera more, and my personality's been on display. And I'm happy that people get to see this side of me, because like you all said, I've been known as a quiet guy who just, hey, do his job. But there's a side of me, man, that likes to have fun. We win a state championship. I'm standing on top of a pole dancing, in the middle of the street dancing like that. That's Teddy. That's who I am.
You mentioned hope earlier. How much of yourself do you see in these kids right now when you were that age?
When I look into those kids' eyes, it's like, man, I get the chills. Because I see myself all over again. You know, 14, 15, 16-year-old Teddy, who walked those same halls at Miami Northwestern that these kids are walking, who lived in some of these same neighborhoods that some of these kids live in, who had the same dreams and aspirations that some of these kids have. And it's like, man, they don't even know how good they can be. They don't even know how the true potential that they have. And I'm glad that, you know, I'm put here now, you know, in their lives to help them tap into that source and figure it out, you know, what I want to be in life, what it takes to be successful in life. And like I said, it just gives me chills, man. Like the other night before the state championship game, I looked into number 5 eyes, Calvin Russell. And he's a guy pregame, he bounces around a lot, he exudes a lot of energy pregame. I'm like, bro, we don't play for 2 hours, man. Chill out. Like, I don't need you bouncing around right now. And like, he gave me this look. And it was like, yo, chill, I'm straight. And it was a look that I recall myself giving the coach when I was 16, 17 years old. And in that moment, I stepped back, I'm like, you know what, do you? Like, I ain't about to control you, man. Like, I see it, I see what's about to happen. And so it's just being able to read those kids and seeing myself a lot in those kids, seeing a lot of similarities. And that really helps me understand those kids as well.
Teddy, you know, we love the fact that you've taken your experiences and become a coach, and now you could share those things. You had extremely high moments as a player, but the one moment I've always been interested in talking about to you was August 30th, 2016. For some reason, of all the injuries we see, this sort of barbaric next man up life we live, your injury, whether it's Harrison Smith, whether it's Mike Zimmer, people refuse to talk about what they saw that day. And no matter how many articles you try to look up on it, the statement when asked, what did you see, is always, I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
What happened that day that made the toughest of men get on their knees and pray, throw their helmets and cry?
Training camp. And this was back when we had 4 preseason games. And we were going into the 4th preseason game. And, the starters was going to rest. You practice about 2 days, and then you shut it down for the rest of training camp. Prior to that week, we played the Chargers in the new stadium. That was my first game playing in the new stadium. And I had a big 3rd down run. I juked the defender. I think that's when I tore my ACL. But the week went on, and I was like, man, it's just camp legs. I'll be all right. Let me get through today. And before practice, I was like, man, something don't feel right. Behind the back of my knee, it just feels crazy or something. But I was like, what, this last day, I'm gonna practice, shut it down, get ready for the regular season. And we went out to practice, and it was like a pass 37 buster solid protection, like reverse out, fake to Adrian, the running back, the fullback, Rhett Ellison comes across, blocks the DN, and as I fake to Adrian, Rhett passed by. And once I put my foot in the ground, everything just snapped. And the entire bottom half of my leg was one way and my foot was another way. And it was just dangling. And in that moment, it was just like, just screaming, man, like, my leg, And guys were throwing helmets and everything, man. It was bad, if you were out there and you just saw a leg just dangling the way it was. All I could say was, man, go get my phone and text my mom. In that moment, because my mom is a prayer warrior, and I'm like, man, text my mom, and at the time, my girlfriend at the time, text them and tell them to pray for me. And that's what it was, man. We got in the back of the ambulance, and I was talking to Suge, the trainer. I'm like, man, how does it look? He's like, man, how does it feel? I'm like, man, the shit hurt, man. Hey. I'm like, man, am I gonna play again? He like, man, can you feel your foot? And I'm like, yeah, but the feeling's starting to go away. And the way he yelled at the paramedics drivers, that told me like, man, it's something serious. And we got to the hospital and found out I had dislocated my knee. They put it back in place, but I knew I still had surgery. I had a long journey to go, but man, that was one of those days where if you were there, it was like, man, this is bad.
Did you ever hear Mike Zimmer's quote about it?
Nah.
Zim said when they asked him after practice, when they were asking him like how they were gonna move on from it, obviously I think y'all went like 11-5 the year before, with tears in his eyes, he said, I've lost my wife. And the next morning, we had to wake up and move on. And that's exactly what we have to do tomorrow. So whatever he saw, to him, made him emotional enough or was bad enough to where like that's what he equated it to. Was there a time during that where you thought you wouldn't play again?
I had my moments, but once I found out about the kid, Jalen Smith, from Notre Dame, he had a similar injury. And I started doing my research. And I realized that his injury was a little worse than mine because he actually had drop foot. And I still had nerves and I could feel everything in my foot. I was like, man, this kid has surgery. He's on the verge of returning back to football. It's some hope for me. And I went to the same surgeon, Dr. Cooper, down in Dallas, who Jalen went to. And I was like, man, if this kid is coming back from this, man, I could do it. And they told me it was gonna take 18 months. I was like, man, I'm gonna show you I can get back faster than that. And I missed one season. I came back probably like week 9, as soon as I got off the PUP list, and I was good.
Did it change your style of play? Did you have to slow down? Did you have to adjust what you was doing after playing? Because that, like I see, I had 4 ACL reconstructions too. I see when you talk about that knee, you start rubbing that damn knee. Everybody do it, yeah. You start rubbing that knee. Did it psychologically change your game?
Nah, it didn't. It actually helped me, man. It helped me with learning about myself, reaching new boundaries and things like that. Like when I hurt my knee, it was one of them things like, man, in order for me to get back to football, I got to be able to do things that a regular person could do. I got to be able to jump on the trampoline. I got to be able to play basketball, move around, show some athleticism. I went to Jamaica. I jumped off a cliff. And I was like, you know what? I'm good, man. Once I jumped off that cliff, hit that water, the impact didn't do anything, I was like, oh, I'm good. You know, so it was one of them things where I just reached new limits and knocked down some boundaries, overcame fears, and once I was cleared, once I could do a single leg bound and my knee didn't give out, I was like, oh, I'm straight.
What did 2019, when you stepped in for Drew Brees and led the Saints to I think you 5-0, what did that do for your psyche?
2019, that was a big year for me. That was the year that really told me that I still belong in the NFL. Coming back from the knee, I signed with the Jets on really just the strength of trying out. Todd Bowles doing a favor. For Bill Parcells, I feel like, you know, it's just one of them things like, hey, Todd, you better sign this kid, man, or, you know, and sign with them. And then when Sean traded for me in 18, I didn't play much, but when 19 came and Brees got hurt, we lost to the Rams when Brees got hurt, and I was not prepared.
Right.
Because in 18, I didn't play a snap, really. I played the last game because we clinched the playoffs, but I didn't really, like, take it serious. I'm like, man, I'm behind Drew Brees, man. We about to get a ring eventually. I'm chilling, man. Like, I'm straight. I'm the highest paid backup in the league right now. Me and Ryan Tannehill, I think at the time. It's like, man, what I need to take this thing serious for? And then Brees got hurt like week 2 or week 3. I forgot what it was, and I wasn't prepared because I was chilling. You know, we played LA. I went by Nipsey Hussle's store. I went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle. Like, I was hanging out, man. I'm hanging out. And when Brees got hurt, all I could remember was what Brees did in practice that week. He threw the ball to Mike Thomas. He threw the ball to Alvin Kamara. So when I got in the game, I tried to throw the ball to Mike Thomas, throw it to Alvin Kamara. But Aaron Donald was on the other side and all them boys who LA had that year.
Right, yeah.
But it opened my eyes, man. It told me, man, I got to prepare. If I really want to play in this league, like, I got to prepare like Brees. I got to come up with a routine because all we heard in New Orleans was it's the process that produces results.
Right.
And we say it sometimes, you know, in sports, you say things and it's like, oh, you only saying it because the team's saying it. And I fell victim to that, like, oh, man, the process produces results. But when that reality set in, I had to be ready. I wasn't ready, so I had to develop a process, a real process. And we won those 5 games, man. I felt the love from New Orleans that I've been yearning for, you know, throughout those couple years. And I felt complete in that moment.
Right.
For you, when you do get to that space where you have an opportunity to play again, but you were a backup, did playing well through those games, how did that make you feel about your future? Did it make you say to yourself, okay, I want to be the guy again? Or were you comfortable in the role you had in New Orleans?
I knew I was going to get a team again after those 5 games because Garoppolo had did it the year before. Garoppolo had success. I think he went 5-0 the year before, 5-1, something like that. In New England.
Yep.
And then he ended up going to San Fran. So I was like, man, Garoppolo did the year before. I just went 5-0. I'm about to get me a team. It really motivated me to, hey, man, you're a starter in this league. Like, you ain't content with being nobody's backup. And I love Brees, man. I love the way that I was able to learn from him every day, study from him. And my 2 years in New Orleans, man, it really helped me grow as a player. I'm thankful that I had those 2 years, man, especially with Sean, Joe Lombardi in the quarterback room, man. It was a special time.
Can we talk about the first time you was there and Bostic hit you? Dog, like, you were such a great college player, and I remember that moment. And, you know, like, defensive players see things different, Teddy. You know, like, we care that you could throw the football and that you can maneuver in the pocket, but when you do something that shows your toughness to us, we like, oh, wait, he built different.
Yeah.
That play, man, and coming back from that, was that a moment for you as a young player where you were like, I need to get back out there and show these people who I am, like where I'm from, what I'm made of?
Yeah, it was that, and I just felt tried, man. Like, you gonna hit me like that? My mom in the stands, man. Like, yo, you gotta see me, you gotta feel me. Like, that was my mentality, man. I knew I had my brothers, man, from South Florida, and just from all over who were on that team from Louisville who really looked up to me. And I knew I had people back home like, man, if you don't get up, bro, you gotta holler at us when you come home. So it was one of them things where he hit me and I just had a frown on my face like, yo, you just tried me, man. Like, you finna feel me tonight. And that was my mentality, man, to just dominate, and we came away victorious.
The Florida boys is dirty, boy. Y'all something else, dog. Y'all something else.
But we had Dre Johnson on, and it's just that South Florida mentality, man. That Liberty City mentality. Does it play out well everywhere? Because I'm from Atlanta, but I've been here long enough, and it seems like some place you are, like people don't understand that.
Right.
I just got tried,
Right.
so. Yeah, why are you so excited? Take it easy. does it play out well ever? Because you'd have been in a bunch of places.
Mm-hmm. Nah, it definitely does, man. And it goes back to just also having survival skills. Growing up in Liberty City, you see a lot, you go through a lot. So when certain things happen, you react a certain way. You slowly react sometimes, or, you take a second and you think about, like, the consequences of your reaction. And then also at the same time, you feel tried, man. You feel tried, like, man, you got to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something about it, man.
Man, it's that time of year, you got to buy everybody something. The kids, the relatives, the mailman, the dog walkers, man. You know what we got to get? You got to give a gift to yourself. Freddie, you know what the best gift to yourself is?
Man, I'm scared to ask you.
Man, you know what I'm talking about. YouTube TV and the NFL Sunday Ticket. That's what you got to do for yourself. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's honestly my gift-giving tip to everybody who are like me, right? You just can't get enough of football. And if you can't get enough of football, NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV is the exact perfect gift for you, especially for me, a guy who loves to watch all of the out-of-market games. I work too hard. I've been grinding too much to have to think about which games I'm going to watch on my TV. So getting NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV was the perfect gift to myself.
Absolutely. You get to track your favorite teams or your fantasy team throughout the crucial point of the seasons. Can't beat that.
Keep up with all my teams. I'm going to share with the Pivot fam. That's how I keep up with it and know that I'm whooping people out there on all my fantasy teams. RC, do the honors.
Sign up right now and get it for $49 for the rest of the season using the code PIVOTPOD. Gift yourself this special offer by signing up now.
Do you have any, I guess, it sounds bad, but honestly, like survivor's remorse? Because of what you grew up in, the people you grew up with, you living the way you living, you know what I'm saying? You successful, quarterback, balling. Like you said, you done ran teams. Now you winning state championships. But a lot of folks that you grew up with, they're not succeeding like you.
Yeah. And honestly, it is no survivor's remorse because I make my people feel the same way. I don't make them feel like they're any less than me. I come around, it's all love. Because I've always been a person who gave my time. And my people always tell me, man, your time is more valuable than your money. So, you come around and just smiling and hanging with us, man. Going to my granddaddy house. When I played for the Dolphins, I used to go to my granddaddy house every day during lunch, during our lunch break in training camp, and just go sit on the car porch and eat lunch with my grandfather. And my cousins would be around, my homeboys from the neighborhood, we'd just hang around and, hey, man, what happened today at practice? It's all love. And I've always been this way. Like, I wasn't that guy who found success and, turned my back on people because I knew at the end of the day, man, family is everything. And that's how I grew up, man, with a strong foundation. My grandmother, my grandfather, and my boys from the neighborhood.
I love that.
How was it coming back to the crib to play for the Dolphins? Because these people down here,
Yeah.
like they love their fans, man. When you had that opportunity, I know you were excited and your people were excited, but how was it truly to be out there and you can kind of hear, see, feel the crib vibe?
Right.
Like, how was that all together?
It was a little love-hate thing, man, because
I can imagine.
you find out people true colors, man, when you play for the hometown team. When they bleed that orange and teal and you suit up for them, man, you better have thick skin. And I'm talking about, I had people who knew me since I was 3-4 years old. Man, you trash, man. Man, you tripping, man.
That's big.
And I'm like, man, hey, yo, it is what it is, bro. Like, I only can control what I can control, man, and you gonna feel how you feel. I'm sorry I make you feel that way, You want to do something about it, you can, but most times, man.
Yeah, they just talking.
Yeah, they just fans, man.
They just
and they
talking
love their team.
I yell, Teddy your big ass ain't hurt. Get up. Like second or third play of the game, man, get your big ass up, man. Come on, shit.
But that's what I'm saying. When he walked in, I didn't know he was that size. I forgot. Since when you were hurt, there was a quote from you that said, "I watched my mom battle breast cancer. I know what it's like to fight." Mm-hmm. You were the one that was around during that time. When you're a young man who has that sort of relationship with your mother and you're watching her go through those things, watching her be debilitated by what it is to fight cancer, how difficult was that for you to process as a young man?
That was tough, especially I was 15 years old. I had an older brother, he was in the streets. My sister, she had her first child when she was 15. And my other sister, she was in the streets when she was 15, 16. So it was one of them things where my mom and I was the baby. And I was connected, and she was just a fighter, man. Like, I used to just think the worst. Because when you're 15, your brain's still developing and things like that. You don't really know what's what when you hear diseases and things like that. She just always kept a smile on her face, man. And that like motivated me because she was like sick. The chemo had her weak, fingernails black, hair falling out, things like that. And she still smiled, man. And it's like, damn, man, like my mom going through the worst of the worst and she got a smile on her face. She ain't asking God, why me? She's just like, Teddy, I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna be here for you. Keep playing ball. God gave you a gift, use it to the best of your ability. And it's like, man, I ain't really trying to hear that right now, man. I want you to be better. And, she never lost her faith. And she overcame breast cancer, kept playing ball, and we just continued to grow closer and closer.
How often do you think about the fact that you told her you were gonna buy her a pink Escalade? Because obviously at the time you said it, you don't know that 6, 7 years later, she's gonna have to sit you down and say, I have cancer. But to be passing up a house and be like, Mom, I'm gonna buy you a pink Escalade, which you actually did get her Escalade eventually. Yeah. How often do you think back to that moment and like the significance of that?
I think about it a lot. As life played out, it's like, damn, man, what made me say pink out of all colors? And then years later, pink being a color that resembles breast cancer, it's like, man, like life does come full circle. And when I gifted her that Cadillac, we were in New York right before the draft, and the way she like laid out on the Cadillac, man, that was like, damn, man, this is why I do it. For this moment right here, it was all worth it. All the tears, everything that she went through, it was all worth it to see that smile on her face. And I just felt complete in that moment.
Our brother, former Viking, Randy Moss, just came out, announced that he's a cancer survivor. You experienced what it's like to live with a cancer survivor. And for everybody's watching, randymoss.com, you can donate there to help with his cancer research and everything he's going through. What message would you have for Randy and his journey to make sure that he continues to beat cancer?
Man, Randy, just fight. He's a guy that I've known to have positive energy always, man. He's always in high spirits, and it's contagious. So stay in that place of that high vibrations, that good energy. And you're allowed to have your moments as a human being. We have our moments when we're alone and we think about what's going on. But the longer you can stay in that place of happiness and think about all the good times, man. Like my mom always told me, like the positive energy will defeat the cancer cells. And every case is different, man. But as long as he can just stay in that place, man, of happiness, lean on his brothers, his NFL brothers, his family, his community, his loved ones, man, he'll continue to just fight and overcome this.
Well, fellas, it's the holiday season, man. Christmas is almost here, and NFL Sunday Ticket got that heat. We got some fire holiday matchups.
My matchups, these divisional matchups, I'm gonna be right in front of TV, chilling out, watching NFL Sunday Ticket. I can't wait.
Sunday fun day, fellas. I know we got Detroit at Chicago, Philly at Washington, and Cleveland at Cincinnati. Boy, it's crazy.
But Freddie T, you gotta add the Rams versus the Jets in that too. And with NFL Sunday Ticket Multi-View, you can have all 4 of them joints and check them out.
Watching all the games. Man, let me help them out. Let me help everybody out. Right now, you get the rest of the NFL regular season for only $49 on NFL Sunday Ticket. You can't miss these matchups. It's the big time of year.
And sign up right now at youtube.com/pivotpod. Terms and embargoes apply. No cancellations.
You know, Teddy, we call this show The Pivot, and I often weave in and out of things. There's 2 questions I've been wanting to ask you for a long time, and they aren't important questions, and other people might not care. The viral moment, man, when you with the dance team, what's going through your head? Like, were they walking by you and you was like, oh, shoot, I'm just going to vibe with them, and somebody put a camera on? Like, what was that whole situation, bro? Because it is truly, it was the moment I looked at, and you know, they started to post it a lot when you decided to coach. I was like, he's going to be a great coach. I was like, he got the vibe already.
Yeah. It was one of them things. I was playing for the Saints that year.
Yeah.
Our dance team, man, they're called G Girls. They're led by Tracy Young. She's a Miami Northwestern Bull as well. She's still over them. And I was just watching, man. I'm like, man, look at the girls, man. They had this thing called a super strut at the time. It was a super strut. I'm like, man, when I come home, I'm gonna hit that thing. I'm gonna hit the super strut. I'm gonna hit that walk. And I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be ready. And we were playing a game. I forgot who we were playing, man. I just saw them walking on the track. They always do their little breakdown. And they started doing the walk. I'm like, oh, they doing it. This is my moment right here. I got in line, man. I started doing it, man. And I think it really went viral just because Tracy as well, man, as she was commentating, look at those feet, look at that smile, you know, that thing like that. And but that was just a moment, man, where it cultivated everyone, man, and it captured a moment of how big the culture is at Miami Northwestern.
Just speak about my Northwestern, man. I played with Torrin Charles.
T. Diddy.
T. Diddy, the year of the Bull stuff, man. Do y'all want to get away from that? Because I think that documentary made Miami Northwestern look crazy. With coaches fighting players and people, like, that ain't supposed to happen, bro. Do you think Year of the Bull put a good light on Miami Northwestern? Because I watched it a number of times with Diddy, and I was like, bro, this is crazy.
Yeah, it put a good light on Miami Northwestern. It showed how passionate we are about football, how serious we take it, man, and it's still the same. I ain't changed not one bit, you know. We in the state championship the other night, we had a guy get a penalty, 3rd and long, you know, DBs do the little celebration where they lock a guy down. He did it on Rain's sideline. It's like, bruh, come to our sideline and celebrate. We got 12,000 fans out here, man. They want to see you. The people from over there, they don't want to see. So what happened, we had got like 2 flags on that drive, so I called the timeout. I said, everybody circle up. And they know what time it is when I say circle up. My coaches know, hey, y'all know what time it is. Everybody go to buckling their helmets, and we just go to swinging. Bop, swinging on them. Still exists to this day. Because I had to explain this.
What? What happened again?
I'll be honest. Listen, I thought you was about to give an impassioned speech.
Listen,
What happened again? You fire them up.
Man, listen, we had one game, man. We was up like 42-7 at the half. I'm pissed. Because it should have been about 60-7. It's halftime. I say, coaches, we finna have a fist fight. They like, what you mean? I had my towel wrapped up on my hands. Come on. We're in the locker room, everybody, hey, put your helmets on. They put their helmets on, they know what time it is. Just gonna swing it, man. Hey. And
What happened the first time you did this?
they respond. That's
tighten
the
up.
thing. They respond, man. We responded, they respond. And we don't go too crazy to, because you know, head injury and trauma like that, but man, it's really understanding your team, understanding your environment. Like, I told my coaches, I got some coaches who didn't attend Miami Northwestern. You know, Coach Craig, Coach Quayle, they went to a Hispanic school, High. I'm like, man, listen, you're not coaching, you know, Juan and Roberto. You coaching Poo, who didn't eat dinner last night.
Right.
You coaching Lil Tutu, who mom didn't come home last night. Like, these kids need tough love. They don't need that soft compassion, no. Like, I was once these kids, so I know what it takes to get through to them. Mm-hmm. And that's just part of our coaching methods, man. Like, we get through to them a certain way. Now, we're going to beat them up, we're going to break them down, but then we're going to uplift them at the same time. We're going to boom, boom, boom. Hey, now come here, we love you. Don't do that dumb, don't do that again. Mm-hmm. And that's how they grow, and that's how they go forward.
we always have these conversations because we got to see more, right? Like I'm from the NO, he's from Florida, he's from Atlanta. So you do grow up a certain way and you were dealt with a certain way. And then you get out and there starts to be these new ways that evolve in like, okay, you could deal with young people this way or they need to have that voice. How did you balance what you learned away from Miami as to opposed to what you learned during your upbringing to be the best you could for the kids?
I just combined everything that I learned, man. I've had so many stops throughout my career. I've played for different coaches who had different teaching methods, different coaching methods. And I really just combined from all the great ones, you know, what really helped me. And I just put it all in one pot, man, and that's my method, you know, from learning from the Bill Parcells, the Mike Zimmers, the Sean Paytons, man, Dan Campbell's, Joe Brady, Vic Fangio, like everyone had different methods of coaching, different methods of leading. And I just try to apply it to my coach's methods and to my personal living as well, because some of the men who I named were great men. They were great leaders, great coaches. And I really idolized some of the things that some of those men did, the way they led. And I just told myself, man, you know, if I ever become a coach, I want to be a spitting image of all these guys combined.
Is this coaching the start of a new career, or are you just giving back to the hood? Because people win state championships, and then they get opportunities at a higher level, then they get opportunities at a higher level. Dion.
Mike Rump, same thing.
Rump did it.
And then UM, and then
Jason Taylor was at Heritage, and now JT. Is this a start of something new, or?
Nah, man, I'm gonna go back and play ball. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and play ball. We're gonna see what happens these next couple of weeks. I'm gonna go back, play ball, and then once the season over, I'm gonna be the head coach of Miami Northwestern again. And go from there.
What you mean you gonna go back and play ball?
I'm gonna go back and play ball, man.
Like on the big boy level?
Yeah, on the big boy level, man. I've been working out still, staying in shape, throwing and everything, man.
That's breaking news.
That's the hope. I mean, like dead ass.
Yeah.
Wow, and this has always been in the back of your mind?
It's been in the back of my mind. My players know, you know, go play ball. Like I told them, I've been staying in shape. I've been practicing with the kids, everything, man, and we'll see what happens.
So you needed this.
Yeah.
Like, because you would have really missed the game in that sense. So you needed to be in that space around them kids, just around ball.
Yeah. Just around it, man, around those kids. Like, they were food for my soul, man. Like, they gave me that extra drive. Because now when I go back to ball, it's like they're going to be looking on the TV looking for Coach Teddy. And they're going to get excited, man, that's my coach right there. Then when I come back and coach them again, I go get some new ideas and things like that. I come back, install, and it's like, dang, coach, man, you really did it. Like, you went, played ball, you came back, you coached. Like, you did everything you said you wanted to do. And that's just my mission right now.
Teddy, how does that come together? Because now I'm confused, right? Because it would seem, if you still had NFL aspirations, the way I was taught and the way we've been tricked into believing is, if that's your aspiration, that has to be your only aspiration professionally. Right? But you said, no, I'm gonna give back to these kids. When did it hit you that this would be your plan, that I would coach and then go play in the NFL?
I want to say before year 10, because I was on the fence. I was like, man, do I want to go coach right now, or do I want to continue to play and get 10 years in? Because everyone can't say they played 10 years. And like I said, these kids who I have now, my 2026 class, they were incoming freshmen, and I told them, man, by the time you guys are juniors, I'll coach you guys. And this was their junior year. So it was one of those things where I just had to honor my word. You know, even when I had my doubts, like, man, do I really want to coach, or I could keep playing ball? I know word is bond. And where I'm from, man, if I could just honor my word and fulfill that promise that I made, I'll be immortal where I'm from, man, because not too many people honor their word. They come back and deliver the way that we just did this year. And I could have easily stayed in ball, you know, but it was one of them things, man, when I say I'm going to do something, I make sure I do it. And I made a promise to those kids and their families, and I just wanted to fulfill it.
Bro, that is, honestly, I don't know if I've ever heard anything like that. Like I respect that so much, man, that you said something to those kids, man, and you stuck to it in that way, knowing you had those aspirations. That is one of the more unselfish things I've heard an athlete do.
Yeah, and leaving Miami, just a jet, going up to Louisville, Kentucky. Recently, what was the Kentucky Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Honored your jersey.
Yeah,
in Louisville.
yeah.
Did you ever think that something like that was possible leaving Miami?
Yeah, I knew it was possible, man, leaving Miami. And I honestly felt like I had to leave Miami in order for that to happen. I knew if I stayed home, and I probably still would stay home if Randy Shannon never got fired. But I knew that if I stayed home, man, I had so many distractions, you know, that would limit me from truly growing and prospering. And I needed to go to Louisville to really become a man. You know, I was my mom's youngest child, and being miles away, can't just pick up the phone, Mom, I'm hungry, this, and that. You got to figure it out. Then I had so many of my brothers from Miami Northwestern, from South Florida, who went to Louisville. It just allowed us all to grow closer and grow as men together. And still to this day, man, one of my best friends, Jermaine Reed, you know, that's who I do my real estate deals with. We've been friends since 4th grade. We're high school teammates, college roommates. I'm his kid's godfather.
Wow.
And those years in Louisville just allowed us to continue to just grow together and grow closer.
You were at Louisville. You had a great run.
Yeah.
Drafted 32nd overall by a team that wears purple. There's a guy that came after you. I believe he's from Florida as well. He had a great run at Louisville, drafted 32nd by a team that wears purple. To kind of be a part of that lineage and really the start of it there, to have Lamar Jackson, you know, go to Louisville as well and kind of hold that mantle of quarterbacks, black men from South Florida who represented in a way not only on the field but off the field with grace. How much pride do you take in that?
Take a ton of pride in that. Just knowing that every time I hear Lamar say, man, I came to Louisville because of Teddy Bridgewater, like that just, it puts the icing on the cake. And he always gives me my flowers, man, every time he speaks on my behalf. And just being a part of that journey that I had at Louisville and then watching Lamar come years later, it was something special. It was something special, man. And what Lamar was able to do at Louisville, it was, I can't even put a word on it because, you know, it was spectacular, man. The way he burst onto the scene, a quiet kid, braces, nappy hair. It must be a South Florida thing, man. But the way he burst onto the scene, man, and he was always mannerable, humble. He always gave credit to his coaches, his teammates, his mom, single mom as well. Like, to have that same journey throughout college, man, and the same 32nd draft pick, sitting in that ballroom, watching him, I felt everything that he felt. And I'm so happy that he's having the career that he's having, man. And talk about 2 MVPs, probably a third one, man. Like, to be able to say that I played quarterback at the same university as Lamar Jackson, I'm honored to say that.
Heck yeah, dog.
That's cool, man. What about the bigger picture of that, though? Because you was a black quarterback when there wasn't a lot of black quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Now you look at Jalen, you look at Lamar, you look at Patrick, you look at Jaden,
Right.
you can go through and Caleb, all these young boys, you can just go through it. Is that some pride? Like, do you take pride in that? Because they were watching you
Right.
and you were having them say, oh, a black dude can play quarterback in the NFL. A black dude can lead a team. And I don't know if you've seen the evolution of a black quarterback, the Michael Vick documentary he put together. And it talks about how, oh, you athletic, you need to play wide receiver. No, I'm a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, you were there before I think this new wave came through.
Yeah.
What's the pride in that?
Oh, there's a ton of pride. I was always labeled a dual threat quarterback, and we know why. But I didn't run. I didn't like running, you know? So it's like, how I'm a dual threat quarterback? And I probably ran for 150 yards, you know? So, but I could throw for 3,500 yards and do this and do that. In college, I threw the ball. We didn't run read option. We didn't run anything. We were under center. We ran Spider 2, Wild Banana. We ran Hound 3 levels, you know, drop back, play action pass. And it was like always being labeled a dual threat. It was like, nah, man, I'm a top passer. I'm a top pocket quarterback who can extend the play if I need to. And I always hated that, man, that, you know, we always got that tag like being a dual threat. When some of these guys, man, are the most accurate quarterbacks in the league, and I understand we have the ability to extend plays and things like that. That's just an extra attribute that we have. It's not what we lean on. Right. You know, a lot of us play the position to prove a point that we can throw, and we belong in this fraternity. But you know, I'm happy, man, that these guys, man, who are playing now, man, they've had guys who paved the way for them. I'm happy to be one of the guys who some of these young quarterbacks might have been looking up to when they were kids. And I'm happy that they're having the success that they're having right now.
Hey, man, it's getting to like the point of the season where I'm just getting worn out. You think about going to Jordan's games on Saturday, then flying wherever I got to be for the Monday night game. And so now I'm in the hotel on Sunday, and I got stuff on the TV. I got my YouTube TV on NFL Sunday Ticket, just trying to figure out how many games I could watch. And, you know, I'm a tweet during the game, too. So I kind of try to fool people with the multi-view. I'm tweeting about 4 different games at one time. And also, too, I just want to be like, man, this dude really studies. He really watches ball. But without YouTube TV, man, and Sunday Ticket, now I'm stuck studying late at night, trying to catch up on all the games. And so think about today. We had to fly all the way to the West Coast and shoot shows. If we don't have something like that, if I don't have something like that, then I'm behind on everything.
Yeah, man. You know what it is? Life gonna life.
Yeah.
And I know your life's a lot. But NFL Sunday Ticket, man, on YouTube TV, I love it. When I log in, man, on my phone, I think about you because I go to the Dolphin games and all that stuff. I'm running around Miami with the kids. But if I'm at a baseball game, you know I got my phone up. You know I got the 4 box. I can watch multiple games on the phone, man. NFL Sunday Ticket really changed the game with what you need to do so you continue to, you know what I'm saying, like you say, do what you got to do in life. But, man, I love it. I always know what's updated. I got the stat view. I love the stat view because you can keep up. Oh, this dude went crazy in the first half, but then they tightened up in the second half.
Your fantasy team poo anyway, though. I don't know why you need the stat view.
Bro, I'm 7-3 right now. I'm second in the league. Don't talk about my fantasy team. Jane Daniels, we watching out for me.
Hey, but more than anything, man, I really find it fascinating. And, bro, you keep surprising me the way you tweet. You tweet about every game, and I'm always like, how does RC do this? And I see how you do it now, man. That's the best. You can have 4 games on one device and 4 games on another device, like your TV and your phone. Bro, get the best of all worlds. So when I'm in South Florida at home, I get to watch my old team do my work and prepare for the radio. And then when I go on the radio, I get to mute it and watch other games. Man, YouTube TV, NFL Sunday Ticket.
I've been in this game for over a decade. We didn't have that at first. And so now you was trying to figure out how to catch up at night. How do I go watch this game? I'm trying to go to places so I can get actual video on the All 22. But with YouTube TV, now you got the Sunday Ticket. If you have a great game you want to watch, you could just lock in on that one. But if it is those 1 o'clock games where you're not having a great week of football and you want to watch the one important game on your bigger TV and then have the other 4 on your device, you can do that. And so that's what I've been doing in the hotel rooms when I travel. And then now on Monday, when I'm going back through things and I'm watching each individual game and actually making my notes, I already sort of have a referendum or some sort of form of reference of what happened in all those games. And you know, like, you can't have an explain your tweet segment on ESPN if you ain't got time to tweet.
Hey, man, you know I'm the best at fantasy. I told y'all my team is great. When I'm in Miami, I'm down there, I can watch out-of-market games. Green Bay, San Francisco, New York. I can watch all my players while I'm in Miami.
Sign up right now and get it for $49 for the rest of the season using the code PIVOTPOD.
When your guys just recently won the state championship, I think that made like 8 South Florida teams or so that won state.
This year?
This past year, yeah. South Florida dominated. Even Luke went on Instagram, was messing with Lil Duval.
Yeah.
Say, hey, y'all really think South Florida dominated. Wait till y'all get a taste of the West. And y'all blew them out 41-0. Yeah. And I'm in Jacksonville, they was hurting. But before we started, you said you had a quarterback that's returning.
Yeah.
The receiver was 6'5"?
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah.
And you got a young team.
Yeah.
How are you gonna manage playing in the pros and then these guys are sitting here waiting to try and repeat?
I got one person, Coach Q. I got a coach named Jaquinton Bickstrom. He don't play that. You remember on Martin when it's back to scratch? On the episode of Martin, what's back to scratch? Over there? That's him. He the coach, he gonna send you back to zero.
Got it.
I'm talking about you'll do 1,000 up downs and zero, start over.
Wow.
So when the kids hear Coach Q, they tighten up. And that's my guy, man, who he's 2 years younger than me. He played high school ball with me, but he's my head JV coach. And it's just like a college program. You know, when winter workouts come around, usually the weight room coach is the guy who manages the team. Yeah, the head coach is busy doing so. It's one of those deals that we got going on with Coach Q. While I'm gone until February, he's going to manage everything, make sure the guys are lifting, going to class, doing what they're supposed to do, while I get to focus on football.
Yeah, and you gave those kids like a real NFL-style training camp prior preseason, where they had to sleep in the gym. I saw the sleeping bags. High schools don't do that.
Right.
Like, what was the mindset or the thought process in making sure they all came and this is what we're doing? This is how we're gonna bring the West back.
Right. And I just wanted to do something that had never been done before. And I wanted to bring the kids together. Because oftentimes at an inner city school, you got guys who are ball players, then you got guys who are ball players who are on the fence. You know, they got the girls, they got the streets, they got fast money, these different things. And it's like, let me just isolate these kids for about 5 days, keep them together, and really watch them grow and get to know each other.
Got it.
And I saw it all, man, in that training camp, man. It was first night, man, we had a kid pour some hot sauce on the kid, man. I'm talking about, man, listen, pour hot sauce on the kid, it got in the kid eye. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but man, it got in the kid eye. So I'm like, they wake me up like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, y'all gotta be playing. The kid like, coach, man, they poured some hot sauce in my eye. I'm mad. I'm like, snapping.
Right.
Found out who it was. I got everybody up. It's 3:30 in the morning. We running the stairs. We running the stairs. I cut my truck on because the lights off. We doing elbows and toes on the wet grass. It's like, man. But they needed that. They needed that.
But a lot of kids would quit. This is high school.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't like I walk out, what happens?
Right.
Why did you lose any kids?
None. And it actually had other kids like, man, I wish I was at the West right now. Because, like, the parents love me for this. They love, hey, 5 days without my child in the house? Oh, go ahead, coach. Go ahead, you got them, coach. But the kids, man, they really, like, got a feel for each other. Like, First night we had the incident. Next night something else happened. I got them up again. But after that, it was like, okay, we get it now.
Right.
Like, we know we piss coach off, but we do something dumb, we all got to suffer.
Right.
And it's a team. It's not just one person. So no one quit, man. We had kids who actually wanted to transfer in just for training camp.
That's amazing.
That's dope.
And they loved every moment of it. I loved it, man. Even though I was missing my bed, I was sleeping on a cot about this big.
Sacrifice.
But they loved it, man.
I think, too, not only have you been to the highest of highs and played in the NFL, you're from where they're from. You're not just president, you're a symbol of what can be.
Right.
And so if you're saying, hey, no, this is how I did it, these are things I've been through, this is how it can help you, bring you together, I think there's a way that resonates that's different because, what was it, when we talked to Rex that time, what he said, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They know you care, because you don't have to be there.
Right.
You know, we talked about it too, you guys win the rings. Is there a way, because we want to donate as a show, I want to donate individually, that other people can, donate or find a way to give to help you guys get the rings to represent the championship?
I got a foundation that, if anyone wants to donate to, man, it's called Be the Bridge Foundation. And, we're going to make sure that these kids, man, get some nice rings and do them right, man. They deserve it. I'm happy for them, man. Happy for the community. Happy for administrative support staff, everyone who played a role in our success this year.
Be the bridge.
Be the bridge.
Be the bridge.
Be the
I
bridge.
got you, brother.
Teddy Two Gloves, where'd it come from? This is my second question. It didn't matter. I tried to separate them, so I didn't ask two silly questions at once.
Nah, so when I was down here, it's warm year round, so you don't need the gloves. Then I went to Louisville. I was a mid-year guy. And first time in the snow and everything, had to figure it out in spring ball. I couldn't grip the ball for real. We were throwing the GST ball, the orange ball at the time. It's like, I can't really get a good feel for this ball. So I was like, I'm gonna put the gloves on. It's cold outside. I started spinning it. I'm like, oh, I could do this. This feels good. And I had flirted around with it in the past because I played a little receiver. We go from receiver to quarterback mid-play. But once I got to Louisville, it was like, yeah, this is official. And then, of course, my pro day came. My pro day came, man.
Small.
My pro day came, and it was like, man, I was training in South Florida with Chris Winkie. Throwing, it was warm at IMG. It was warm weather. Footballs brush. Pro day come, I get new footballs. They not broke in. Yeah. I'm like, man, I'm going to still just try to prove a point that I could throw without these gloves. If the balls were broken in, I probably had a better day, but it was some trash balls. But at the end of the day, I stunk it up. I stunk it up, man. Now, I look back at it, I laugh like, damn, man, like, that shit was bad, man.
Did you feel the pressure of stinking it up, though, while you were doing it?
Yeah, man. When I threw a post route to Damian Copeland one time, and that thing went the helicopter in the air. I said, man, I got guys out here diving for the ball at a pro day, man. I know I ain't getting drafted. I said, it's over with me, but I'll never forget, man, Gus Bradley came in there, man. That's why I love Gus Bradley.
Yeah, gee, good.
That man came in there, he say, I bet you think it was bad, huh? I'm like, hell yeah, it was bad. What you mean? I know you saw what I just saw. He's like, no, man, you lit it up. And that's just Murphy's Law. I'm like, what the hell is Murphy's Law? He's like, when anything bad that can go bad, goes bad. I'm like, damn, man, okay. You making me feel good now. Then North Turner came in all cool and stuff, man. I'm like, yeah, I could rock with these dudes, man. So,
man, that's amazing. We always ask our guests what's their biggest pivot in life, the moment that brought them to where they were. And without that moment, Teddy Bridgewater wouldn't be the Teddy Bridgewater that just led his high school to a state championship. What would that moment be for you?
When I was 15, and my mom was going through breast cancer, and I had stopped going to school, stopped playing ball, everything, and it was one of them deals where I was like, man, I got to be the man in the house. Let me wash some cars, cut some grass, just find a little hustle. And my mom sat me down, and she just told me, God bless you with some gifts, man. Like, don't cheat yourself in life. Like, use your gifts to the best of your ability. And from that moment, I ain't looked back. And I told myself, man, I'm gonna be something, and here I am today.
Man, that's beautiful. When they showed, there was a tweet that said you had just won the state championship, and Randy Moss actually retweeted it and put 2 gloves on it. So it just kind of full circle to what Fred asked you and talked about. You, the amount of respect, man, you have amongst us, whether it's former players, current players, was always an immense amount. After speaking to you today, dog, and listening to some of the things you poured in to what you've lived away from the field, for me, that respect has gone up exponentially, man. Thank you so much for your time, bro. I appreciate you, fam.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Well deserved.
Hey, honestly though, hot sauce in the eye is diabolical, dog.
You gotta mess with the first one going to sleep.
But did you make him run too?
The kid who did it?
The kid that had the hot sauce in his eye?
Nah.
I was about to say, that'd have been foul. That'd have been foul.
But the thing is, the kid who had the hot sauce in the eye, he was like, Coach, man, I don't even want them boys to get punished.
Right.
I said, damn, man, I got a team here, you know what I'm saying? So, but man, yeah, it's fun, man. These kids, man. Number 2, Nick, he's a sophomore. That's the other kid, man. Nicholas Lanier.
Right.
And too, you don't want to be the team snitch either.
He don't want to put hot sauce.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the team snitch.
You got a knucklehead. Knucklehead's gonna make all the plays, man.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.